What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are working on something a little bit out of my normal spectrum of vehicles to work on. This is obviously a little Nissan hardbody with a big old LS in it. So I believe this is a 5.3 from a Chevy Tahoe. This belongs to well, technically it belongs to a guy in Colorado, but right now it is being serviced and the engine swap is done by my friend Efren's uncle, who owns a shop. This was his basically last job for the books before he closes up and heads back down south. And I'm here to build a 3/4 exhaust for it because the actual owner wants to do something special, I guess, back home. So I'm building up to basically the rear axle, and then if I can, I'm trying to build some headers for it. So I've never built some headers. The issue is that obviously some of you guys may have already, I don't know if you're popping in this video, not a regular watcher because of the vehicle in the video, then you might know like clearancing is a bit of an issue. So we got a swap header on this side, which clearances perfectly on the steering shaft. So that side technically I could work with. And right now there's a stock header on this side because the other swap header kicks the flange out towards the what is it called? The frame rail. So that's kind of the issue. So the options were basically modify the flange on that side, re-weld it, which you can weld stainless to cast. It's very hard. Well, not very hard, but the only issue that I've run into so far doing that is because I did it to my turbo. This thing is super thick. I want to say thicker than my turbo. The only issue is issue on this is I can't really get the inside joint, whereas on my turbo I could weld the inside and the outside of the V-band flange that I adapted. So it was a little bit more and a less chance to break, and so far the turbo's held up great. And I don't know, so I gave him two options. I can either try and modify that one, or I can try and build some cheap headers. So if I build some, which either way I'll be doing whatever I'm doing in this video, if I build some, it's just going to be out of 1.5-inch mild steel. And I think I can do it. It's definitely going to be different from what I've done. So I don't know, I'm going to try and let this truck cool off because I was let it idling for a bit to get those camera shots. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those, and yeah, once I can figure out a plan of attack, we'll update you guys and we'll get cracking on this thing. Just found our first issue. Can't really build the headers because I'm on a strict time crunch with this car or this truck, and I just found that the header flanges that I ordered, because this is the only place I could find any, and they didn't say what size the holes were for the runners. They're 2-inch on here, and all the forums I went off of said everybody was using 1.5-inch pipe to build the headers. So that's what I ended up buying, is a bunch of 1.5-inch, and lo and behold, the 1.5-inch does not fit. And I don't have a way to expand the 1.5-inch to 2-inch because you really just can't expand it that much. And now I do have a couple 1.5-inch to 2-inch adapters, but those are too long because of the tight clearancing that we have. So the issue with that is clearance, obviously. So, like I said, the other header by the brake booster, that fits, clears the steering column. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chop up the other swap header, and we're going to modify that because I do have some 2-inch schedule pipe. That is some stainless schedule pipe from building a turbo manifold thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and modify it using that, and that should work just fine. So I'll just charge them a little bit less. So gotta do what you gotta do, but time is of the essence in this case. So yeah, here's the header, just stood the saw up. Let's cut it. Alright, so I got that cut. I'm going to clean it up with a carbide burr bit. Here's a 2-inch 90. This is what I'm going to have to use to hopefully try and get the angle that we need. I'm going to have to shorten this up a whole bunch, like way up there, but I'll figure that out here in a minute. But you can see that'll give us a good shelf to weld to, so I can hot pass that, and then I can cap it as well, make sure it stays, gets good heat, gets good penetration. So this should actually work out pretty well, as long as I can get this to curve out of the way. So let's go test fit on the truck and see what we can get it to do. Just ran into another issue after cutting this one up, is the main runner here kicks downward. So even with that, the frame rail is literally right there, so there's just no way that one's going to work for this application. So he did have the stock header on this side, so it was already pre-chopped. So I just went ahead and took the 2-inch schedule pipe. I just cut it and I'm just kind of mocking it, but it looks like it'll fit just right down there. So I will have to squish it a little bit in the vise to get it to shape a little bit better the header. Stop throwing things. But yeah, now I'm gonna just try my best to clean this thing up. It's gonna weld like crap, but I'm probably gonna be doing 2 or 3 good passes around it just to make sure like it holds. Because I've been told that these stock headers are known to crack over time. But this guy, it's not gonna be a drift truck or anything. The owner, apparently just wanted the LS swap. So yeah, I don't think with these tires it's going to be some drag racing, and I don't think with the leaf spring suspension that it's going to be a drift truck. So we should be fine, you know, we should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and we're going to try and weld it. Oh. Alright, just finished welding that up. I threw it in the blanket because with cast, when you're welding stainless to cast, or when you're welding stainless, or sorry, cast in general, it has to cool down very slowly. So I wrapped it in the towel. Hopefully that does a good enough job. It did last time I did the turbo. The wrap on this job was a little bit, you know, not as efficient because of the awkward shape of it, but we'll come back in a couple of hours. Ideally 4 to 5 hours is how long you want it to cool for. And last time I did this on the turbo, it was still warm after that. So it is now 12:43 in the afternoon, so I'm gonna make some lunch and probably just hang out. We'll see you this evening and we'll test fit it then, make sure it didn't do anything crazy. It should be fine. It was just a one little flange, whatever. But yeah, hopefully that was a success. We'll find out when we come back if it's cracked or not. So it was definitely wanting to fight me because when I was tacking it, I could hear it start to crack. So that's why you saw me lay a whole bunch of tacks. It's the best way to do it. So that worked out pretty well. You can see it right there on the end. And yeah, so now I can kind of go ahead, I can attach the flange to that, and then we can start building the exhaust from there. Like I said, the other side already fits fine, so hard part is ideally out of the way. Alright, so here's the start of the passenger side. I just pulled this off really quick to tack the nuts on because there's like really no room in there, so I just tack welded these nuts on for the bolts to more easily attach, so I can throw this back in. And so basically, I think somewhere right after this, I have to do a 45 to get kind of down under the truck. And I'm gonna cross it over right at the tail of the transmission because that's where I've done it before on a 305 swap Nissan 240. And it fit really nicely that way. So that's how I'm gonna try and do this one as well. That, and it gives me plenty of space to bring the driver's side down and under, and more space to configure how I want to do the crossover. It's just gonna be like a 45 merge, but it's easier at the tail of the transmission than trying to go straight under the middle of it. Working on just steady knocking this thing out. Let me show you the progress so far. What's up, pup? It's toasty out here, ain't it? So here I am now. Oh, I suppose I can roll it up a little bit more. So you can see I got the transition kinda So I got the transition coming over here, ready to come straight across over, and I just tacked this straight section on. I apologize for the sunlight in the way. And right now I'm just building up to this point right here. So right here is where this electric exhaust cutout's gonna go. I gotta angle it, so I just cut a 45 to attach here, and then I'm gonna have a 45 coming off to go this way. But yeah, so once that piece is attached, then I'm gonna focus on building the merge to come over, which that should be pretty easy, especially now that I got the plasma cutter. I can just notch the exhaust that way. I'm gonna take some time on that one though, so in the meantime I'm just doing the quick easy thing, which is just getting the cutout put in. So objective is to have this pretty much all tacked together today, and then hopefully get it pulled off and all welded up tomorrow, and then it should be done. I did have to order some O2 bungs on Amazon, overnight them. So those will have to wait till tomorrow, and technically I'm waiting on a 2.5 to 3 inch piece of pipe adapter still, but they're trying to have this thing done tomorrow, so we'll see. Got the cutout piece all tacked up, ready to weld. So now I'm just working on the merge. So this is what we're looking like. This is all just hand notched, and then I'm getting better at it. I might clean up a little bit more. The fitment's pretty good, especially for the MIG welder. It's good enough to fill it. So yeah, so you can kind of see, like, this is just obviously for showing, but yeah, pretty cool. So I think I should be able to attach these two pieces, maybe trim one of them a little bit shorter, I don't know, but yeah, this is going to be the piece to merge the two pieces together. So before I tack this to the other piece, I'm going to drop each individual side and weld it all up, and then I will finish tacking this to connect the two sides, and then that'll be, I don't know, I'm just going to do it that way just in case. Pretty much almost at a daylight here. So we made pretty good progress today, despite it being super hot out. I got a little sick from the heat earlier. Well, not sick, I just got really worn out, a little nauseous, so I had to go inside, chill in the AC, and sip some water. So kind of lacking on progress because of that, but I mean, either way, we're still waiting on parts, so there's always a holdup. Never goes totally smooth, but that's cars for you. So bad luck struck me yet again. I just can't seem to catch a break. It's always like the little things that just constantly add up. So then on the next thing of welcome to my life, I was on literally the last cut of the exhaust, this piece. So I'm just cutting this piece. I got my line marked, and I was cutting it by hand on the vertical, well, to the saw up or whatever, just to get, you know, a little extra angle, because I'm trying to go up to the merge point for the merging the two pipes together. And the motor jammed, or the blade jammed a little bit, and it fried the motor. So yeah, this is a $1,300 bandsaw. Granted, it is Harbor Freight, but Harbor Freight, Grizzly, Jet, they all come out of the same Taiwan factory. But yeah, I know that's how these things happen. Like, I've done my reading. I guess it's super easy on these electrical motors to basically jam them, overload the circuit, and it like melts wires and stuff, and it doesn't matter the brand. It's just, that's how these motors work. So right now I've been on hold with Harbor Freight's customer support for probably a good 20 minutes already, trying to just get a hold of somebody. I'm on hold. Yeah, hold. I don't know exactly what motor this is to try and find one to replace it with other than the Harbor Freight one, if they can give me the same motor. The only difference I'm seeing between mine and these other ones is it's got these sets of wires here that come out the back of it or whatever. But my concern is more with the fact that the box on it has two sets of plugs going into it, because one of them powers the coolant pump, because this machine has a coolant pump. So right now I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to open this thing up to hopefully try and diagnose it. But thankfully I should be able to at least finish the job using the chop saw. I just hate using the chop saw for exhaust pipes, so gotta work through it. Well, I got it apart and I have no idea what I'm looking at. Although I do know that I'm kind of checking for burnt wires of some sort, but nothing in here looks toasty. Nothing in here looks out of place. Like, I don't know. Even this center shaft piece, everything looks fine. Like, I don't understand enough, like I said, how these motors work. So I don't know. I did call my coworker. We have a guy down at work that rebuilds motors. Well, we have a guy that we go through to rebuild electrical motors for like AC units, this, that, the other. So I know motors in general are generally the same as I understand it. But yeah, I don't even understand how you're supposed to take the centerpiece out to inspect it anymore, so I'm just gonna have to wait for him to text me whenever he can get the guy's information for me to call. But this sucks, man, because I called Harbor Freight too, finally got a hold of them, and the motor itself is like $380, but it's on national back order just like everything else in this stupid country. So this really sucks. Like, I don't even know. My bandsaw is my main tool that I use. I use my bandsaw just as much, if not more, than I use my welders, because obviously you gotta cut everything. So the chop saw can do some simple stuff, but you're limited with the chop saw, plus using the abrasive wheel is a huge issue with trying to like cut precise cuts, because the abrasive wheels flex and get blade deflection. The cuts never come out clean, takes a lot of cleanup. My other little bandsaw crapped the bed, so I don't really know what to do. Basically all I can do right now is try and finish this job, and until I get another bandsaw situation sorted, I cannot work. I can't do my normal work, that is, so I'm stressing. Well, moving on anyway, so we got the hole trimmed out, so now I can go ahead and bolt this back up, and yeah, then I'll just tack it all together and I'll weld it just probably as one big unit. Just do it that way. Alright, this exhaust is finally back up. Thankfully Efren was stopping by to change his oil, so he was here to help me. I've never had mild steel warp as much as this has. Usually mild steel really doesn't warp, but it was probably just where the merge was. I had to put a lot of heat into that joint to fill a bit of a gap, so it probably just cooked it there, so I had to fucking just pull it around and bend it and stuff, but it's on nonetheless. So let's fire this damn pig up and see how it sounds. Alright, she's on the ground. Let's fire this thing up. Hear how she sound. Oh, the seat. Oh, it's so far. Okay. Yeah, okay, I got the e-brake pulled, so we should be good. Ready? Yep.
A lot quieter.
Yeah, it's still loud, but quieter. That V8 rumble.
Yeah,
the whole truck is like shaking. Is this canned?
Yeah.
Oh, it is canned?
Yeah, it's a can.
I thought it was just like a misfire.
No, it has a can.
Alright, yeah. Well, we're good. I mean, my work is done, thankfully. He still has to pick up some O2 sensors for us, so there is a check engine light at the moment because of that, but the bungs are on there. Oh, it's freaking hot, dude. Not too shabby.
Sounds pretty sick though. Yeah, it does.
Truck's done, sounds good. I spun around the block, no crazy rattles other than the 202 sensor bung ports that I didn't tighten, but once his uncle gets it at the end of the day today or whatever, he's gonna throw some sensors in there anyway to fix that check engine light. So yeah, we're good. We are gonna get some coffee right now. It's hot as freaking balls, so quick little update on the saw situation. The motor, it's already 3 in the afternoon. I've been hunting around all day. Some of you guys responded to my Instagram story, so thank you guys for that. I got a few good ideas. A few of you guys had said Granger, so I did call Granger. They are like a nationwide industrial parts supplier. They sell anything and everything for equipment, for farm equipment, automotive equipment, industry standard stuff, whatever. But they have a whole butt ton of different motors, and I don't know what I have. So thankfully the lady on the phone was able to get me in touch with a tech who helped me try to identify the motor. It sounds like it's a 56 series size. He needed me to measure the size between all the bolts and stuff, and I couldn't figure out exactly because the phone call was kind of breaking up, so I didn't catch exactly what I was supposed to do with those sizes. So I don't really know. I measured like 3.9 inches between the center bolt holes because it's just weird. But thankfully, Brian down at Hassport has a place local that he goes to that can rebuild electric motors. So I gave them a call, told them what motor it is, and they said they should be able to repair it. Absolute worst case scenario, they should be able to help me source a replacement because, like I said before, the Harbor Freight one is on back order with no ETA. So that's just the story of my life. Like I was telling Efren earlier, it's not like that everything crumbles down. It's just one of those rains, when it rains it pours. It's like all the little things start trickling down on me, like my saw, time crunch jobs, and then Colorado we're leaving for tomorrow, and then stressing with like home life stuff that's just freaking little things that happen. So it's been a day. All right guys, well this clip is a few days ahead now after the slush meet in Colorado and all that stuff, so this video is kind of all over the place at this point, but I did drop off the motor to the bandsaw this morning to a company out in Phoenix called Runamigan Electric Motors. I was recommended to them by my old boss, and you know, they seem pretty confident they can fix it, so hopefully that's true, because I called a few places more local to my part of the valley, and everybody was like, oh, like, we can't help you, we do industrial stuff, or it's not cost efficient because it's a Harbor Freight motor, when I think they're misunderstanding which motor I have and stuff, but I don't know. But hopefully they can take care of it, because right now I'm kind of stressing about trying to figure out the money situation, because if it was, I mean, I can buy a motor new from Granger, but I really just, I don't think I can afford that, because at that point I may as well just buy a whole new saw, you know, because Granger's expensive. Like, I don't know, it's you know, this stuff happens, part being an attempt, trying to be a business owner, part of doing business, and just unexpected expenses. But anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully, oh, my light's falling, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. Yeah, we got some more stuff coming up hopefully soon now, and we got a nice little surprise for you guys in the next video. We're finally doing something, moving forward just a little bit at a time. So do what you love, think about the rest, go scoop some merch. I'd really appreciate that. And I'm gonna be working on some SD Fab merch too, stickers and stuff. So anyways, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.